On that idea of character work, one of my favorite movies of yours is The Black Phone, and one of the big reasons for that is the character work, in particular with the father.
Yeah.
And it's a very dark film, but it's not a cynical film.
No.
And you take a character that seems so irredeemable and you give him depth and layers. How did you approach telling a story where a character like this that could be so deeply flawed is capable of change without undermining the harm that he had done?
I think that you have to give the audience some kind of an insight into the trauma that he had endured also. You know, that the loss of his wife was really crushing for him and he was unable to deal with it. And I also think that even though his anger and his alcoholism leads to this, you know, really severe, I think the most upsetting scene in that whole movie is the whipping of Gwen. You know, it's so out of control. But I think that I tried to treat him like a human being, and having suffered so much loss in the suicide of his wife, which led him to drink, led him to be the person he is, led him to be violent, that then seeing him deal with the missing child, now the possible loss of his son, and what that did to him, it made him move so far that he was willing to take Gwen out based on one of her dreams. He was willing to defy everything that he felt about this stuff being dangerous because maybe it could help. And then when he sees him, he falls on his knees in gratitude. And I just think that deep inside, I think that spoke to audiences because the kids don't hug him. Yeah. They hug each other. They're still scared of him. But there is a sense of, this guy deserves a second chance.
Yes.
We want him to get a second chance. And that's all I did with that, is leave it in a space where we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
But hopefully this guy will wake up and be better and will get the second chance that he doesn't deserve, but we want him to get it anyway.
So, before I talked movies for a living, I was actually a pastor, and so I was watching it, and
amazing.
It was like finding grace in a really unexpected place.
That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And you know, it's tragic that our culture increasingly does not value forgiveness.
Right.
But I think that when forgiveness is portrayed truthfully on screen, there's nothing more moving. Mm-hmm. You know, there's nothing. Grace is the most beautiful thing in the universe, right. And when you see it portrayed in a realistic way, you can't help but be moved.